Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another meal prep video. Today we are going to do a few lunches and then I'm gonna need to prep one of my dinners and then do my usual veggie fruit prep. So first, that's what I'm gonna start off with, is getting all these veggies and fruits all prepped up for different meals for the week, for snacking, that kind of thing. I like to have it all cut up for whatever meals. Like I need the peppers for one of my lunches and also for a dinner, so that'll be completely ready to go. Strawberries will be for breakfast, so I like to have all this prepped up for the entire week so I don't have to do it throughout the week. All of this is going to be for a dinner for tomorrow night, so it needs to marinate. It says it's best marinate overnight, so I thought I'd go ahead and get the chicken part prepped today, and then it's ready to cook after I get off work tomorrow. So I only need part of this chicken for that, and the rest of it I'll use for different dinners for the rest of the week, so I'll get that put away in the freezer. And then we're going to be doing some mason jar salads. I have done those before on my channel, and I will link any that I have already done down in the description box. I'll give you some tips and tricks as I go along with what I've learned while making these. And we're going to put together 4 different mason jar salads, so those will be my lunches for the week. I know I said in my grocery haul video I was going to do the chicken fajita pasta. I decided to move that to dinner since that's a little bit of a heavier meal to have for lunch. I wanted more light salads for lunch, so I decided to do the mason jar salads. I forgot that was already my plan when I went shopping. So anyway, we will put those together, and again, like I said, I will put together some tips and tricks for that. Alrighty, so we are done chopping everything. I will show you all that when we use some of it for our mason jar salads, and then also I'll show you at the end kind of what I have left over. So first up though, I do have a dinner tomorrow that I'm making, and it's going to be a chicken souvlaki pasta. It's actually a new recipe that I am trying out. The original recipe comes from a Skinny Taste recipe. It's made like with pitas, but I'm going to do it with hearts of palm. So stay tuned for my weekly what I eat in a week video that you will see how I put this pasta together. I'm just, like I said, I'm just kind of winging it. But first I need to marinate my chicken overnight. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done and get the marinade. So what we need is, of course, the chicken. So we have that. We need some onion. So I have some white onion here, or yellow onion, I think, that we will use for that. We need a tablespoon of oil. This is avocado oil. 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. We need a tablespoon of oregano. We need some minced garlic, salt and pepper, and then some mint and some chives. So I have that. So I'm just going to put all this into a big Ziploc bag with some chicken, and then that'll marinate overnight. Alrighty, so here we go. So this is just going to go into the refrigerator, and I will probably put it in the air fryer. I imagine that's how I will make this. So at least one thing is done for dinner, and that'll make life much, much easier. We're ready to make the mason jar salads. Now I prepped everything ahead of time. You don't have to do this. I just figured for time for the video, it'd be easier if I already had everything weighed out and measured out. And I do suggest chopping everything up. So if you can chop everything up, great. But I also wanted to get everything weighed out and measured. Just makes it much easier for video. So I do have everything here ready to go, all the rest of my kind of ingredients. But let's go over a few tips and tricks. I have made some of these before on my channel. I know at least one time I will have any videos linked down below that I can find that I have shared with you before. So the first tip I have is a 32-ounce jar. It seems like a lot, but if you're having the salad as your main meal, highly suggest that. If you just want to make little side salads, which I know there's people who do that, you can use the smaller jars, like the 16-ounce if you just want to make a side salad. But if this is your main dish, highly recommend using the 32-ounce and use the wide mouth. Again, this is just easier to pack things in there. It's just the regular mouth ones, you're actually they're really a lot smaller, as you know. Just harder to kind of pack in there, harder to get out. This just comes right out. So that's what I recommend. I get these at Walmart. They're only like $2 and something individually, or you can buy a big pack of them. And then I prefer these lids. They just last longer. I've had trouble with the other ones rusting, and it's a 2-piece thing. It's just kind of a pain. So I just buy these. They just twist right on. This is just a Walmart brand. You get like 12 of them for like $2.94. Super cheap. So if you do have to replace them, which I haven't had to replace mine. They actually last for quite a while. I have got some on Amazon before. I don't recommend those. I don't like them. They have these little gaskets on the inside, and they're kind of a pain, and they don't fit very well. So I don't really like those since I've discovered these ones, and these ones are a lot cheaper as well. So that's my first tip. Wide mouth, 32-ounce jar. Use any kind of lid you want. You can use the lids they come with. This is just a personal preference. Then next up, let's talk about the layers. So you're gonna, depending on what kind of salad you're making, you could have different layers. The first layer is always your dressing. So I suggest using either a vinaigrette, just because it'll come out of here a lot easier and it kind of spreads over the salad more. I do tend to use 3 tablespoons versus 2, so you do take kind of a hit with your points, but it's just because it's a big salad that I tend to use more dressing. So if you don't want to use a vinaigrette and you like the creamy salad dressings, the Bolthouse House ones are a good option because they are a little thinner consistency. But if you also make your own dressing, you could always just make it a little bit of a thinner consistency. Or you can do what I've done before and not even put the dressing in here and just put your dressing on the side. If you like, you know, to do that for like a thicker dressing, I just think if you're going to use a thicker dressing, leave it out and then just put your dressing on top. So yeah, either one of those. Then your next layer, so that's dressing is your bottom layer. Your next layer is going to be your hearty vegetables. Those are going to be things like carrots, celery, cucumbers, broccoli, cauliflower, those types of things. Because what you want to do is add a barrier. Tomatoes is another one. You want to add a barrier in between your dressing and all your rest of your ingredients, especially your lettuce. Your lettuce does not, you do not want your lettuce to touch anything that's going to make it not stay fresh and not wilted through the week. So you definitely want to make sure you keep any kind of wetter ingredients down at the bottom, but definitely have this barrier in between your dressing and the rest of your ingredients. So next, I do suggest doing like hearty vegetables. And the next layer is going to be, peppers. Peppers are another good one you can put down in here. The next layer is going to be beans and then other vegetables. So like zucchini is not, you know, it can easily kind of soak up the dressing and get a little bit soggy. So I do suggest you put your zucchini above any other of your like heartier vegetables. Also, you can put your like any beans, chickpeas, those kind of things, lentils. You can do like those kind of things down here at the bottom. So any of those types of things, mushrooms, corn, although corn can kind of go at the bottom as well, but corn can sometimes soak up the dressing as well. So it just kind of depends, but so that's that next layer, those like beans and like less hearty vegetables. And then layer 4 would be any pastas or grains that you're going to put in. So like rice, quinoa, or any pasta that would go next. Because again, you really don't want that soaking up any of that dressing to kind of make, you know, it a little bit soggy, or pasta can fall apart if you let it soak for too long. And then layer 5 would be like your proteins, your cheese, things like that. So chicken, bacon, cheese, those kind of things are going to go up here. And then the next one kind of goes along with that, and you can kind of mix it with that same layer. Any nuts or seeds that you may be using, you're going to want to put there as well. And then of course you just top it off with whatever kind of lettuce. I personally like to use a combination of romaine and spring mix. I just feel like it stays the best. Romaine and spinach, especially spinach, will stay all week. I have put these in the refrigerator and had them last for 5 days easily. I usually make 4 of them because I usually have them Monday through Thursday, and then Friday is usually my more like eat up any leftover, that kind of day. So these will stay fresh all week. Now, one thing that I'm trying that's absolutely new that I have read that you can use is avocado. So I'm going to try it in 2 of mine this week, but it did say to put lime juice on it, so I did that. And I'm not sure where to put it in the layering. I'm thinking I'm going to put it up here with the softer vegetables, and I kind of thought maybe putting it up here with the cheese, but I think I'm going to put it down in here with some of the other ones. But I did put lime juice on them, so we'll see if they last. But they say that putting the lime juice and putting them in the glass jar makes them last all week, so I will definitely keep you updated on that. But avocado, this will be a new thing for me on when to put the avocado in. Now, eggs is another thing that you may add to it, which I'm going to be adding eggs to 2 of mine today. And eggs, you kind of, you know, it's not actually really matter much where you put the eggs. I usually put them kind of down here with the beans and the, you know, those kind of things, and the less heartier vegetables. I usually put the eggs down in there in that area, which you'll see that. Okay, let's go ahead and, I have my scale here because I'm going to go ahead and weigh out the dressing. So the first one we're going to do is going to be like a Greek chicken type salad. So I'm going to use some olives here, which I know these aren't the Greek olives, but y'all know I like the green olives the best. And I think I'm going to use this dressing. I thought about using tzatziki, but I'm going to be using tzatziki for another dinner this week. So I really want to try out, I actually did taste this and it's really good. So I just think this would be just a nice light dressing for this kind of Greek style salad. So the serving size on this is 31 grams, but I'm going to do, that's for 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to do 31 plus 15, so that I'll make it like 1.5 servings. So we are shooting for 46 grams. I've never tried, this is the first time I've tried this dressing. Like I said, I took a little taste of it and it is really good. I got this at Fred Meyer, and it's just a 50-calorie simply dressing. So we're going for 46 grams. The next thing we're going to add are tomatoes. So I have some tomatoes over here. I love tomatoes, so I'll probably put quite a few on here, but I need to make sure I have enough for all of them. I'm just going to drop in my tomatoes next. Then the next thing would be cucumbers. Now, one thing that I kind of tend to do is I tend to load up on stuff and then I don't have a lot of room for lettuce, so I have to kind of watch myself. So just keep that in mind. And then we're going to do some chickpeas, which I have some draining over here. Okay, so we're going to do some chickpeas. And then some red onion. And then we're going to do our olives. And then we're going to add in our chicken. So for this, I'm just going to use some regular just grilled up chicken. I'm going to change this to ounces, and I'm going to do 3 ounces. And then we have some feta cheese. Now, I prefer, myself personally, I do take a hit for points because I'm not a huge fan of the fat-free feta, and I like the regular feta that you chunk up yourself. So I just take a hit of this for points, but it's just, I don't know, to me it just tastes so much fresher, this just fresh feta cheese. I already have this weighed out, so it's already weighed out as an ounce, which is a serving. And then the last thing, of course, is going to be our lettuce. So now it's just really just packing this in here. There's our first one. So this was the Greek chicken, and now what I'll do when it's time to eat it, I'll just shake it up, which I know I'm not going to get all the dressing, but you just kind of shake it up and then you just put it into a big bowl. I can carry this to work with me and then just take a bowl with me, and I can just shake it into a bowl and have a nice big salad for lunch. Okay, let me go ahead and reset and we'll do our next one. Next one is going to be a Cobb salad. Now, normally I like blue cheese for the Cobb salad, but I have so much salad dressing in my refrigerator to use up. I could not justify buying some blue cheese dressing. So I have the classic Bolthouse Ranch. Again, we are going to use, so 30 grams is a serving, so we're going to do 45, so we can do that extra tablespoon. I'm going to do our cucumbers. And then we're going to do tomatoes, and actually, I mean, I'm not like, I could have done tomatoes first like I did on the last one. We are going to do eggs. So I have a couple hard-boiled eggs here. Now you could add beans if you want some sort of beans, but I'm just going to keep it real simple for this one. We are going to do some chicken and then bacon bits. So I just have some bacon crumbles here. These are real bacon crumbles, and I already have these weighed out, so I don't need to do those. So put those in there. And then now I'm going to add some avocado. So this is where the avocado is going to come into play. Again, I have already covered this with lime juice. So crossing the fingers that this works, you guys. We'll see next week. And then we're going to do some cheese. Of course, lettuce. Actually, I'm going to add in some green onions, which I normally would have added down there below, but I forgot to write that on my list here that I'm looking at. So I love green onions, and I think I'm also going to add in some red onions. Just completely forgot about my onions. And this one is all done. So we'll go ahead and put the lid on this one. And here is this one. The next one we're going to do is a chef salad. So again, I'm just doing the classic ranch. And of course, we're going to do tomatoes and cucumbers. And then we have some onion. And now we have eggs again. And then we are going to do some ham. So this is just my favorite diced up ham that I show you guys all the time from Smithfield. I just have 2 ounces here, which is a serving. And then we also going to add in some bacon, real bacon bits again. Then we just top it off with some lettuce. I forgot to put cheese on that one because again, I didn't have it on my list. So I'm just going to pop the cheese on top, which will be just fine. It'll just be at the bottom of my salad, but we'll be mixing it all up anyway. So, yep. Normally I do put cheese on my Cobb salad, like a taco salad type thing. So we are going to use this cilantro avocado dressing from Bolthouse. Oh wait, nope. We're going to do, forgot, we're going to put some salsa in there because the salsa is just a little bit runnier. So we are going to put some salsa in here, down here with the dressing. And now we're going to do some tomatoes. And then we're going to do some peppers. And then we're going to do some black beans. And these are drained and rinsed. And then we're going to do some jalapenos. So just some of these nacho jalapenos. And then we're going to do some of the blackened chicken strips from Tyson. Cannot forget our avocado, which I probably should have put down there with the jalapeno because I probably would have kept it a little bit pickled, right? And then we'll do our cheese. And then of course we're going to top it off with some romaine. Before we do the romaine, we're going to do a little bit of cilantro. I'm just going to get that. I love cilantro, so maybe it's a lot of cilantro. And we're going to do some green onion. I'm not going to show you how messy my counter is. We're going to clean it off. But look at this one. This one just looks packed full of goodness, doesn't it? Okay, let's go ahead and wrap up everything we did. So we have all of our veggies here to have for breakfast, for snacks, for dinners. I have my chicken here marinating, some more like onions, and then we have our salads for the week. So again, if I have any other videos showing these salads, I will link them down below. I'll also link down a few different recipes. There's a ton out there. If you just look up mason jar salads, there's a ton of them. But I will link some down below that have, like, there's some websites that have 15 to 20 different ideas. So I will link all of those down there. But definitely stay tuned for this week's video and you can see how these come together, how this dinner recipe comes together, and everything else that I'm making for dinner. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.